Hello and welcome. In today's video we are going over another great way to make a lot of credits in Gran Turismo 7. Now in previous videos you have commented saying that some of the vehicles that I use are expensive and why do you need to be already rich in order to make money. So this week I will be uploading a few money making methods that are actually budget friendly. So for the first one we are looking at the Red Bull X 2014 Junior. Now this car will actually set you back 350,000 credits. Now you might be saying to yourself, that is quite a lot, but compared to the other vehicles, for example the Honda RA272, which is 2.5 million, this is a lot cheaper. Now when it comes to upgrades that you need for this vehicle, you don't actually need anything. The car comes fully equipped. The only thing that you actually do need to purchase is some heavy wet tires. Now with the setup you are going to want to start out on racing hard tires. Now for suspension, everything for both the front and the rear are the same for the following. Body height adjustments is going to be set at 50. Now you actually can't change this, so you don't even have to worry about it. Anti-roll bars are going to be set at 8. Dampening ratio compression is going to be set at 35. Dampening ratio expansion 45. Natural frequency is 3.85. And then negative camber angle is going to be 2.5 in the front and 1.5 in the rear. Toe angle is going to be 0.10 outwards and then 0.20 inwards for the rear. Then differential gears, we aren't going to touch that. That is your standard differential settings. Aerodynamics, we're going to set the front to 330 and the rear to 485. And that's it. Everything else, even the other page, is completely standard. Now onto the event that we're going to use. We are going to be using the WTC 700 around Le Mans. This is a 30 minutes endurance event, so you will roughly get about 7 laps around the circuit. But why we love this event is because with over an hour's worth of playing, you will earn just over 1.6 million credits. Now when the race begins, you will see your fuel map will be set to fuel map 1. Leave it there, don't touch it, because the Red Bull Junior only produces 246 brake horsepower and, as you would expect, is incredibly slow. You will actually see the car will struggle to actually overtake the AI on the easiest difficulty. And if you play it on a hard difficulty, you will begin to see that the AI will actually pull away from you. Now where this car actually makes up most of its time is in the corners. With the car being lighter than a feather and not actually having that much power, you're almost able to take majority of the corners flat out. Now this allows you to carry a lot more speed since the car can't actually gain that much speed on its own. So you can't really be going that slowly coming out of corners because your lap time will really just suffer. Now we see that even with drafting vehicles, the car being on fuel map 1, the car is struggling to do over 260 kilometers per hour. Now why I was saying that the Honda RA272 is the best method, on that same straightaway the Honda does over 340 kilometers per hour. You go a lot faster compared to the Red Bull. Now to actually put that into perspective, this Red Bull does a lap of the same circuit in about 4 minutes and 15 seconds if you are driving incredibly well. Whereas with the Honda, if you do it incredibly well, you will set a lap time of under 4 minutes. That's more than 15 seconds a lap. But people complain and said, oh, I'm making people waste so much money when you could just use the Red Bull. So you can use a Red Bull, but it isn't as fun. Straight, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, it is a lot better in the corners, but the car is quite boring. I got halfway through the race and I became utterly bored. I actually didn't want to finish the race. It felt like more of a task than actually enjoying my overall experience. Now, I was fortunate enough in this race to have no rainfall, so I was able to go as far as possible without needing to go into the pits. Now obviously during this race, this is honestly a miracle. So if you have, or if you see rain coming up on your radar, do go into the pits, change over, because you don't want to see yourself wasting too much time because your car has no grip and the possibility of you spinning out is increased. So you just want to avoid that. Get onto your wet tires and just make sure that you're going to be able to complete the race. So this usually happens after the second lap. Between the second and third lap, rain usually falls on the circuit, so that is when you will be going into pits. And as you can see, the fuel consumption of this vehicle is actually really good. So look, it could be better, but compared to a lot of other vehicles, this car is really light on fuel. So I actually reached the end of the 5th lap before I had to go into the pits. Now as I said, there was no rainfall, so this is as far as you can push the Red Bull Junior before you need to go and refuel. Now I did not need to change my tires, but I thought, hey, since I'm in the pits, might as well change it. When I came to fueling, I just let the whole tank get filled up. Now it is possible to do this event with a no pit strategy. However, that does require you restricting how much fuel the car actually uses. For example, putting the car on fuel map 6. Now if the car is already struggling on its max power output, you still restricting it is gonna really kill your lap times, and it's gonna make the event so much harder. So it's easier to just set it on fuel map 1 and leave it there. So let's break down the strategy that you want to use if you are gonna use this event. When a race starts, leave it on fuel map 1. You can turn traction control on, leave it off. It's really personal preference. Then go as far as possible if you do not have rainfall. If you see rainfall on your radar, go in, change your tires to just guarantee that you aren't going to be found with your pants down. You aren't going to be spinning out uncontrollably. You will still be able to put down fast lap times and still have lots of grip even if the track is wet. So that is just one thing that you do need to make sure of. So the car, it gets the job done. It's not really exciting, it's just the bare minimum if you just want to have it done. But it's such a boring event using this car, it almost makes me not want to carry on playing the game. Like after I did this race, I was like, okay, I actually think that's enough Gran Turismo for today, because of how bored I was driving this vehicle. There was no excitement. The only joy that I got was when you have to come to brake, because the car, with it being light, you aren't really going that fast. The minute you slam on the brakes, the car brakes immediately. So that's the best thing about the Red Bull Junior. So if you do want to try this budget friendly method out, you can. Everything is laid out in front of you. If you did go and to enjoy this video, don't forget leave a like and subscribe. And if you had the money and purchased the RA272, watch this video here and see how you can perform. Honestly, one of the best races you'll ever have in Gran Turismo 7. So with all that's been said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.